Hello and welcome to the Illinois Association of Park Districts Parkcast. I'm Wayne Utterback, Director of Communications and Digital Content at IAPD. And today I'm very excited to be joined by Decatur Park District Executive Director Clay Gerhard to talk a little bit about the Devon Lakeshore Amphitheater. And it's just one of the many things that Decatur Park District offers to their residents and visitors that is pretty impressive. So Clay, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to just chat with me a little bit about this.
Sure, Wayne, appreciate the opportunity.
Now, what can you just give me a basic overview of what the amphitheater is? How did it get started? What was really the impetus to get the ball rolling on this?
Sure. Well, back about 10 years ago, the Park District was faced with a unique opportunity in that we had an 18-hole golf course situated right adjacent to our lake here in Decatur that was underperforming and was going to take a lot of capital improvements to be able to keep it going into the future. And so at that time, the park board made the tough decision to say we're going to close that golf course and look at alternative uses for Nelson Park. And it really led us to do an entire master plan for Nelson Park, which is one of our three kind of cornerstone parks here in Decatur. And out of that master plan came, our new Overlook Adventure mini golf and adventure park, our new Splash Cove aquatics facility. Several of the back 9 holes were turned into a native prairie grass area, kind of stormwater detention filter basin. And the entire lakefront was reimagined along with an amphitheater. And kind of through numerous conversations and numerous opportunities to apply for grants, which for one reason or another never materialized. Ultimately, we had a donor by the name of Howard G. Buffett and the Howard G. Buffett Foundation step in and say, hey, we think this amphitheater would be a great thing for Decatur and our community, and we'd like to fund it. So their foundation stepped in and helped build the amphitheater, and that's really how we got here today.
Now, when was the official opening of the amphitheater?
So 2019 was our inaugural season. Okay.
Now, who are some of the names that have graced the stage? I know I've heard names here and there, but I don't know if you want to just give me an overview of some of the top acts you've brought there.
Yeah, there's a long list. So in 2019, we welcomed a lot of country artists, and here where we're situated in Decatur, we have a strong country crowd. So we welcomed artists like Trace Atkins, Scotty McQuarrie, Wynonna Judd, and rock legends 38 Special and Three Dog Night. And obviously in 2020 we were shut down due to the pandemic, like most of us were. And in 2021 we kind of got a second grand opening season. And in that season we welcomed artists such as Three Dog Night, Justin Moore, Chase Rice, Gin Blossoms, the Oak Ridge Boys, and we even had a surprise visit kind of fall in our lap from Kevin Costner, who a lot of people go, whoa, Kevin Costner. And he actually has a band called Modern West and does a whole series of kind of Ozark type music, kind of piggybacking off of the Yellowstone series. And so Kevin joined us for a sold out show here. And then we stretched our offerings this season and to be more diverse and add more offerings. And we welcome Skid Row and Warrant. We'll be having Cheap Trick, Kansas with Blue Oyster Cult. And then we're adding some rap this year. So the Yin Yang Twins, Paul Wall, Young Jock, Drew Hill, and Twista, kind of a throwback to the 90s era. And then again, we'll have a big, strong country lineup. We had Brothers Osborne here a few weeks ago. We got Gary Allen, Tracy Lawrence, Jake Owen, Girl Named Tom. And then just this week, we announced comedian Bill Engvall will be joining us, along with Christian artist Toby Mac and a whole Pop 2000 tour featuring Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC and just a whole host of other pop artists from that era. So not only do we have big name performers, but we also have just a ton of great tribute acts. And that's one thing we really focus on is, in between those A-list and B-list artists, we look for the best tribute acts of that artist. So here in a couple of weeks, we'll welcome a Prince tribute artist that is the only tribute artist that's sanctioned by the estate of Prince. So they have to be really good to be sanctioned by the estate. So we really strive to not just have your average bands, but bring in the top quality entertainers we can.
Now, how important is it to have a venue like this amphitheater in the community? What do you think that brings to the community?
Sure. Well, Nelson Park, as we looked at activating the waterfront, and we have a tremendous lake here that the city spent close to $100 million dredging here in the last couple of years, and has really cleaned up the water quality, made it a place that people want to go down to and recreate on. And so having an amphitheater has really just added another piece of excitement to that waterfront. Along with that, it's really helped bring our community together. It's the happy place on the weekends where folks talk about, meeting up and getting together for drinks and to have dinner and then come to a show at the amphitheater. And so we really strive to have something for everyone in our park system. And with the amphitheater, the way it's situated, the different seating levels, some folks can afford that $60 or $80 front row ticket, but maybe folks can't afford that, and they can afford a $20 ticket up on the lawn. So by having those different tickets tiers, we've allowed it to be really accessible to anyone in our community.
Now, one of the important things I think of any park district is embracing the arts and really putting a spotlight on the arts. Do you feel like this is a fantastic avenue to be able to present that and give that to the community?
Oh, absolutely. We know the arts play a critical role in our community, especially as kids start to develop in their young age. And so we really start our kids out in our young programs where they might be 5 years old in our dance programs, and then they start moving up into what we call BOSS, which is Best of Summer Stock, which is kind of kids theater. They move up into musical programs, and then ultimately the neat thing is those kids who come up through our programs have an opportunity to perform at the amphitheater. They have an opportunity to meet some of those artists that their mom and dad probably know, maybe they don't, but it's very cool to see kids standing next to their parents so excited about music and just live entertainment and learning kind of how to engage in a public setting. And it's just really neat to see the kids develop through our programs and then get to play on the Devon stage and enjoy the entertainment at the same time.
Now, how's the community responded to the amphitheater?
Overwhelmingly positive. I don't know of many places where our amphitheater is situated in a residential neighborhood. And oftentimes we're playing music until 10 o'clock or sometimes after. And we've received very few calls. In fact, we see a lot of folks out on their front porches listening to the music. You can obviously hear it from a long ways away where the amphitheater is situated. So overwhelmingly positive for our community. Last year, we welcomed over 40,000 guests. This year, we're hoping to surpass that 50,000 mark. We continue to expand our offerings and our reach, both through offering more diverse offerings and kind of making sure we've got something for everyone, along with our marketing efforts, social media, and word of mouth. One neat thing that we've noticed here this year more is that instead of us having to reach out and seek out artists and talk to agents and things like that, we're having more and more of those folks contact us first and say, hey, our buddies performed there last year and talked about just the great venue and the view, and we'd really like to come there this year. Or we'll get calls from artists who say, hey, we're going from St. Louis to Chicago and we're looking to fill a show in between on an off night, and we look at all the social media presence you guys have and the strong positivity, and we'd really like to be part of that. So that's been a cool thing to have artists actually reaching out to us and saying, hey, we'd like to come play your amphitheater. So that's been a cool kind of shift over the last year here. We really feel like we've got a gem, and we're so blessed to have the amphitheater in our community.
Well, that's all the questions I actually had for you, Clay, but I mean, I've heard so many great things about it, and I definitely have heard about all the artists. I can't say the number of times I have people say, oh yeah, I was over at the amphitheater over in Decatur and I was checking out the show, and how excited they are to just be able to have that venue so close by, even the surrounding area. Do you find a lot of people from the surrounding area are really starting to come in to check out the venue?
Yeah, surprisingly, it's not only from the surrounding community. We get a lot of folks traveling from other states. We've even had people from other countries. We've had Canadians come down when we had Kevin Costner here, who came down for that show. It's unique to see or interesting to see the the ticket counts of kind of behind the scenes of who's buying from what zip codes and things like that, because we really are drawing not only from Central Illinois, but other states. And so it's cool to see that impact that Decatur's having.
Well, that's excellent. I encourage you to keep it up. I always love hearing about park districts that have, like you mentioned, a gem, something that really is, you can put a spotlight on it and shine and say, this is part of what makes us who we are. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to just share with me a little bit more about the Devon Lakeshore Amphitheater.
Wayne, we really appreciate it. If folks want to take a look at what we have to offer, they can go to devonamphitheater.com to learn more.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much, Clay.